Are you ready for great big transformation? This kind of game-changing stuff that you look back and go, wow, my whole life changed this year. That's what eclipse season is. And every year, eclipses happen in different parts of our lives and different parts of our energy. And it really depends on your own astrology. But this eclipse that's coming is very exciting. It's a solar eclipse, eclipsing something in by releasing something again out with the old, in with the new, all the feng shui. And so you're going to release stuff you know don't need anymore to bring something incredibly new into your life. And in the process, you are going to see massive transformation. So this eclipse is in Libra. It is Saturday, October 14th, and it is going to bring us overall more balance. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dana Claudette. I'm a modern feng shui master, and I'm the founder of the School of Intention, which is an entire method of feng shui and a school of feng shui based on infinite possibility. Everything is possible. Creative awakening, because that's how you manifest everything, and your intention, your focus, energy, and attention that brings your biggest magic to life. And that big magic is what we're going to talk about today for eclipse season. So these Libra themes of balance and harmony and realigning yourself to the best paths forward are going to be, as I said, different for everyone. And as we get into the feng shui, this is for you to customize. Everything is so unique and individual. There's just not one size fits all for anyone. So look back to late 2004 to all the way through 2005. When an eclipse happens, it sort of triggers a whole series of events that will unfold over 6 months, sometimes over a year ahead. So the last series of these eclipses, solar eclipses in Libra, were 2004 to 2005 in a similar area as they will be now. Now, does that mean that the same exact things happened in your life then are going to happen now? No, but it's sort of like you get a flavor of what areas of your life might be shifting. You get a sense perhaps of what you could be called to focus on that maybe you haven't focused on in a while. I'll give you an example. In 2004 to 2005, late 2004 to 2005 was when I first started working with feng shui. It's when so many things happened in my life that were released. Some that I wanted to release, some that were released, and afterward I realized were a blessing. And then all this new stuff came in. And by the end of this eclipse cycle, not only had I transformed my career, like unbeknownst to me, in many ways, it wasn't just that I started doing feng shui. I got a different job. I wasn't doing it professionally immediately. I had a whole different lifestyle. I had all these different things in these specific areas of my life transform. Look back and see what that might be for you. And you might not really know offhand, and that's okay. Sometimes we have more dramatic things than others. I'm excited to see what all of this new is going to be. It's certainly, this feels like a big one for me. It's literally where we began. But I'm excited to hear if you have a sense of what that is, where you might want to focus. So the very first thing you want to do is get a sense of where you might be out of balance. Evaluate how things are going in all aspects of your life and notice how you can grow. So again, none of these things in astrology are happening to us. We can choose to engage with the energy. We can choose to engage with the themes, and we can choose to go deeper, or we could choose to just ignore it and move on with our lives. But what I found is that one of the beautiful and maybe revelatory things about working with astrology in this way is that you can start to focus your energy and attention on aspects of your life that maybe you've ignored, maybe you haven't had time for, maybe you just hadn't had on your mind. And so take a look across the dynamics of your life and ask yourself, how are things going? How are things going in in your sense of perhaps things that you might have ignored, your sense of personal growth? How are things going for you in your career? How are things going for you in your relationships? How are things going for you in your creative life? How are things going for you and your sense of wellness? How are things going for you and your sense of purpose and mission? How powerful do you feel? How do you feel about the trajectory of where you're headed and your larger mission and power in life? How are things going in your money? How are things going in your love life? Not just in your friendships and other relationships, but in your love life. Look at that big spectrum of different areas of your life and ask yourself, how are things going? And what is my life showing me that I need to handle now? That I need to focus on, uh not in a stressful way, not in a harsh way. Again, this is about flowing with nature. So I don't want anyone to look at your life and get super critical and be like, this sucks, that sucks, this sucks. Instead, it's just information. And you're going to take this information and use it to make big leaps forward. Because as you shower energy and attention on things that have been ignored, they spring to life. And when they spring to life, suddenly you can do things about stuff that might have been stuck for a long time. Suddenly you have new energy, new revitalization. It's such a great exercise. And solar eclipses are actually when it's a new moon, it's a fresh start new moon. And usually if it's a total eclipse, it means that the moon and the sun come together and the sky is dark. It's just a blackout of the sky. In this case, the moon goes in front of the sun in a way so that there's just a circle of light in the sky. And you might actually be able to see it depending on where you live. In some parts of the US, you can see with special glasses, you can see this eclipse. It's going to be like a ring of fire, literally a ring of light in the sky. And when this eclipse happens, the idea is that there's a supercharging, that there's a real reset button hit that we can then use to revitalize ourselves. And so, on that note, if you want to make the most of this eclipse energy, deep energy clearing can really open doors so that you're ready to accept big change making. One of the things that I've seen again and again for the last 20 somewhat years of working with this work is that deep energy clearing is so important as a foundation. Everyone wants change. You want things. You want maybe the love of your life. You want your dream job. You want your dream home. You want to resolve an issue in your life. You want things. And when they're not coming easily, sometimes it's because you're real comfortable where you are. And if you were to get some of those things, it might make you uncomfortable, even in a pleasant way. Um, all change requires that things get shaken up. And oftentimes we don't want a shake up. We want things here in our minds or here in our energy. We're sort of, let's keep things as they are. Let's not rock the boat too much. And so we kind of hold ourselves back from making big changes. And this is a time of quantum leaps. And if you've been holding yourself back from making big changes, it might be time to clear away some of that old energy so that you can welcome big changes into your life. And so here are a few ideas for deep energy clearing. I share so much of this stuff all over YouTube, all over Facebook, all over the blog, everywhere. And you can find all the links below, or if where you're watching this, you'll find so many different methods. But some of the things that I think would be really wonderful for this balancing energy, this rebalancing eclipse. First, do some cleaning that is balancing. So cleaning that makes you feel restored. That can be washing things down that feels really restorative, washing the walls, washing the windows, maybe getting some really mild Castile soap like Dr. Brommer's or another really mild soap and getting a big sponge. And if you can wash your walls, just washing everything and feeling the balance being restored in your space and feeling the freshness that you're generating. Same thing with the windows, mopping your floors, this sense of rebalancing, bringing energetics back into balance. It's going to be awesome. Another project that you could think of in your home for clearing energy is to grab yourself a bunch of small bowls and fill those bowls with sea salt. I talk about this a lot, and you can put these sea salt bowls all around your house. So I like to get sea salt at the dollar store and bowls at the dollar store, and I just put them out everywhere. I sometimes would get bulk sea salt. I would get a few pounds, put it out all over the house, and leave it there for as long as I felt necessary, sometimes a week, sometimes a month, until you feel like it's time to let it go. And the idea is when you're placing it, you're imagining that that salt is just taking all the unwanted energies out of your space. Another big way to bring more balance into your space and shake up the energy is with sound and sound energy. So if you have a bell, a little bell that like a hand bell or jingle bells, you can walk around in the corners and shake your bell. And that can really open up the energy, open a few windows and allow this all the unwanted stagnant energy to leave your space. You could do the same thing by clapping in the corners of your house. Just like literally, you're just going to clap and clap and clap until you feel the energy is leaving and rebalancing your space. Whatever it is that you decide to do, recognize that as you release unwanted energy from your home, you're welcoming more of the energy you want into your home and your life. When you do things to your environment, you're doing things to you. You are connected to your environment. It is an extension of you. So as you make these shifts, you're opening doors to all the new opportunities and people and events and adventures and abundance and all the things that you want. So it's very powerful. Now, if you want to make the most of this time, decide how you are absolutely ready to transform. It might be that you have a picture of yourself like in the same place in your life in one area. Like I'm always in this kind of a relationship, or I'm always in this kind of a job, or I'm always in this kind of a rut with my fitness or with a health journey that I'm on, and I'm ready to break out of this rut. That is my old self in this rut, and this is my new self. So you can literally write out, I'm ready to release, and write out that pattern, that thing that you see. This is my old self. My old self is struggling in this way. My old self is holding herself back or holding himself back. My old self is this. And you just write out all the aspects of that area of your life that you're ready to be free of. And then grab your pen and write your new paradigm that you're stepping into and make that super clear. The old self that's stuck is the thing you're ready to release. The new self is what you need to focus on. Oftentimes, we focus on what's wrong again and again and again and again. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And we just get more of what's wrong. So instead, focus on what's working, focus on what's right. And as you do this, you're going to see the energy start to really pick up velocity and move for you. So you're going to pretty much write out and draft out your paradigm shift, moving from what that was, that old self in one way, and then that new self. And your new self is going to be your point of focus. Now, in the months ahead and starting right now, balance is going to help you to bring this transformation to life. More balance can be your guide. This is a beautiful Libra theme and such an important one. Now, balance means a lot of different things to different people. The biggest point of balance is following what feels good to you, meaning when you know that you are exhausted, you take a nap. When as many times as you can. When you know that you are needing to have a conversation in a relationship, you do that. When you know that you need to change your work habits because you're getting way too stressed out, you do that. So it's about really understanding and knowing for yourself when things start to feel off, or you're pushing or forcing, or it feels overwhelming. That's not going to be the path forward. The easiest and best path forward is what feels so good. And let this sense of balance be your guide, this personal balance. For some of you, for me, personal balance is usually moving a little bit faster. When I'm really creative, I feel much more balanced. But if I go too far, then I start to get fried energetically. I start to get burned out. For you, you might feel more balanced when you spend more time alone, when you spend more time at home. Some of you might feel more balanced when you're very social. It's part of your ethos, it's part of who you are. So recognize that ideal sense of balance for yourself. When have you been the most balanced in your life? When you look back and go, I really had a lot of pieces going in my life and they were all feeling really good. And what did that look like? How did you spend more of your time? How did you spend more of your energy? What was that like? And so bring that energy in. We need both yin and yang, these forces of nature, to manifest more. And the more you can respect this sense of balance, the more you can open your heart, open your energy, open your literally open your crown chakra, open up your whole energy field to receive the downloads of information that you want, to receive the abundance that you want, to receive all of the manifestations that you want. So balance, balance, balance in a personal way. And a lot of this has to do with taking responsibility and deciding that you are the creator of your life. This is a big facet of this work. In the School of Intention, in the whole program, in the method, you are the creator of your life. You're the creator of your luck. You're the creator of all change. The eclipse doesn't do anything to you. The retrogrades don't do anything to you. No one in the world can sort of influence your energy field without your awareness and without your ability to do something about it, whether it's before the fact or after the fact. You have a lot more creative control of your life than maybe you realize. And we don't control all of life. We're not responsible. We're not to blame for things happening to us that, freak things that happen to all of us. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the large swaths of time that we can take more responsibility for creating our lives every day. All the opportunity we have to make amazing things happen, to make change happen, to make more luck. And so this eclipse is really a signal to do that, to balance your life so you can show up as your best and make magic happen. The School of Intention is open now for registration for those of you who want to become a Feng Shui pro, trained in this one of its kind in the world method of Feng Shui, and really start by changing your own home and your own life in the 6 months ahead and then bringing it to others. You can find all the details below to learn more and join us this season. Already feels like magic. Orientation is open when you log in right now, and it is going to be epic. As you change, the world around you changes. So keep choosing to grow and thrive and It's going to be amazing. I'm going to check and see if there are any questions. Oh, hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited. Thank you, Dreamweaver, and thank you all for being here. I'm so happy that this resonates with you. And, we can pick up scary messages about different things, about any astrological thing, about any aspect of life, about Feng Shui itself. There are a lot of scary messages out in the universe about what we should or shouldn't do, what's good and what's not good. And when you absorb that fear, then you project it out onto other people and you project it out into your life. Instead of taking on all that fear and all that stuff, instead, just choose to, again, take responsibility for what you consume, take responsibility for what you agree to, and allow yourself to decide how things are going to go for you. I'm going to leave you with this message. There was a song that was in my head yesterday, and I highly recommend Googling it if you've never listened to it. I believe it's Frank Sinatra who was singing "I Did It My Way," and it's a really kind of classic song, and through it all, I did it my way. I think that's one of the lines in the song. And it's all about how, you've lived this whole life and how proud and how amazing it is that you did it your way. And just listening to it reminded me, it just went into my head. And then I was like, oh, this song, it's such an affirmation of doing it your way. And it's not about being perfect, but it's about acknowledging all your genius, all your greatness, and doing things more your way. That's what's going to make them magnetic. That's what's going to make them amazing. So if you have never listened to that song before, Google it. I think it's called My Way or something like that. And someone can leave the real title in the comments. I should have looked it up before this, but it just popped back into my mind. So clearly it's meant to be said for whoever needs to hear it. Choosing change, as Rita said, can be so difficult. And yet choosing change can be so tremendously life-changing and empowering. Like I said, when I headed into this last series of this same series of eclipses back in 2004, 2005, I was not choosing the change that I received, but the change I received was the best change I could have ever asked for. And it was life-changing, maybe even life-saving. And so lean into the change that feels good and do it on a gradient that feels good. You don't have to change everything at once, but the more organized, the more set up around you, clear and fresh you feel, the easier it is to navigate all kinds of changes, whether expected or unexpected, to make them the best things that have ever happened. On that note, have an amazing eclipse, everyone. And I will see you so soon because there's something fun coming. So I'll be back on Thursday with more. Mwah. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here. Happy eclipse.